Yeah, thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen, and it's great to be back in Brisbane. It's obviously been a pretty tough couple of years, but I was reflecting the other day as I wrote my 39th quarterly report that Impact's been in business now for basically 10 years. It's our 10th year anniversary coming up. And is that right? That's not quite what I thought it was going to be. But over 10 years, we've had a lot of ups and downs in that time, and we've been all over the world, and we're still pushing ahead, trying to make that big discovery. And we're currently very focused on 3 projects in Australia: Mulga Tank here in WA, and then Broken Hill for platinum. But in particular, at the moment, we're very active at the Commonwealth project. And if you followed our announcements over the past couple of weeks, you'll see that we're drilling as we speak, and we believe that we could possibly be on the edge of a major discovery. And so if we're not on your watch list right now, then you should be getting us on there over the next few weeks in particular, as we're waiting for assays, we're waiting for downhole surveys to be done, and we're going to be continuing to drill. So all of that action is happening here at Commonwealth, and we're very much interested in this hill here. This hill has been calling me for about 3.5 years since we first came across the project. We acquired it relatively cheaply during the downturn, and it's called Silica Hill. And it's because it's actually just made of quartz and sulfide. It extends over an alteration system, represents an alteration system that's basically covering 4 or 5 square kilometres. And it's something I've never seen in my career before. It is a very large system. There's a huge amount of alteration here. There's a huge amount of fluid. And that's the first thing you want to look for if you're trying to make really a giant discovery. And that's really what we found an impact on all those years ago. And it's certainly what's been getting us out of bed over that time, is to find something. And we think that it possibly will be hiding underneath Silica Hill here. So we're in the Lachlan Fold Belt, which is in central New South Wales. It's a very well mineralised area. We're about 100 kilometres north of Cadia Ridgeway. Newcrest's fabulous gold copper mine. It's probably about 50 million ounces of gold equivalent in there. Very close also to Cal with Evolution, the great success they're having there, and a number of smaller deposits, of course, through that richly mineralised area. We've been working there now for about 3.5 years. We were initially very focused on the Commonwealth trend here, the Commonwealth deposit, which was mined in the early 1900s, and a few thousand tonnes that came out there, and very rich in gold, silver, zinc and lead. But over time we've identified these 4 prospect areas: Welcome Jack out to the east, Silica Hill, and to the north, Donut. And that's, say, covering this sort of 4 to 5 square kilometres. And we've completely demonstrated in this drill program they are part of one system, covering many square kilometres. There's something major driving all of this mineralisation that we're seeing. There is a small resource there already, but it's a very good grade. We put this out probably close to 2 years ago now. There's about 700,000 tonnes at 4.5 grams of gold equivalent. It's made up about 50% gold. There's an ounce and a bit of silver and some lead and zinc. But importantly, it's all from surface. There's about 1,000 ounces per vertical metre from surface, and as a rule of thumb, that would be a very profitable underground mine. And so if we do get a pit going here, this will be a good starter pit. We've already found that. What we need to do is to demonstrate we can jump at least to the 500,000 ounce level and look to some near-term development. Clearly, we think there's probably more than that. But we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves just yet. So here's a picture of the resource. It's about 400 metres long at Commonwealth, but importantly, half the ounces are in a massive sulfide body to the north, and this is about 145,000 tonnes, but 10 grams gold equivalent. So within that area there, we're probably looking at 2,000 to 3,000 ounces per vertical metre in a small open pit. And importantly, in this program, we've now extended that resource down about 30 metres, and we're getting some very good grades: 7 metres at 6 grams gold, half a kilo of silver, 7% zinc, and 3% lead in through there. And we've got some downhole surveys underway at the moment, and we think there's big potential still at depth here. And then we've also demonstrated in this program that there are shoots within this resource, which are also plunging. We're getting some very good grades in there as well. So within that 100,000 ounces, quite clear potential to sort of double that, but in particular keep your eyes on the grades from those drill holes. But the big question that we've always asked is what is hiding under Silica Hill? There's the resource. Silica Hill itself is a large area to the north. This is a picture of the induced polarisation. It's a geophysical technique that you use to identify disseminated sulfides. And we drilled a couple of holes up here 2 years ago. We got 157 metres here with 5 grams of silver, which is not mineable, but it's a very large halo, and a 23-metre intercept with sniffs of lead, zinc and copper in there. And interestingly, in hole 11 here, we had 20 metres at 1.5 ounces of silver at the bottom of the hole. And that was always something we were going to follow up. I would say that if you saw an announcement this week, we'd probably stop 3 metres short of what we're hoping is going to deliver some nice gold grades over the next week. And so we kept plugging away over the years, and we're back there. We're back there now. And this is actually what is there underneath Silica Hill. There's some very interesting massive sulfide veins. These are very rich in lead, zinc and silver. We can measure the silver with a handheld XRF. They're bonanza grade zones of silver. Visible silver minerals in through here. This is about sort of about 10 centimetres drill core. And visible silver minerals just pouring out of these veins here, and extensive visible silver in this dark vein through here. This is a very rich vein system. This is what it looks like in cross-section. Here's hole 11, where we stopped at 20 metres at 40 grams of silver. We've come in with hole 43, and that number's quite significant, 43. It was the 43rd drill hole that we drilled in this project, and that's the one that we think is going to take us to the next level. So it's a lesson, classic lesson in persistence in exploration and making sure you do the correct quality work. So the zone is about 75 metres thick all up, with its 68-metre mineralised intercept. Importantly, the upper zone is silver-rich and the lower part is gold-rich. The overall grade is about 68 metres at 1.5 grams gold equivalent. But importantly, within that zone, we're getting metre intercepts with up to sort of 0.5 kilo of silver in them. And we think as this zone has come down into the next hole, in hole 11, we're seeing bonanza grades of silver in the veins down here. Importantly, the gold veins here, we've got small veins about 15, 20 centimetres wide, and they're carrying sort of between 5 and 10 grams per tonne. So within this sort of broad overall zone, we're seeing narrow high-grade zones. And in terms of the geology of this area, that's very important, because we think it's just going to get better grade as we go deeper into the system. These two drill holes are 80 metres apart, which is quite significant. We've drilled a third hole basically to go over the top of this, and no surprise, we're getting significant mineralisation close to surface. So we've got basically the makings of a significant open pit with 50 metres thick worth of mineralisation here, which is very exciting. Now, there are two other drill holes. This is the hole we drilled previously, 150 metres, about 5 grams silver. There's a 200-metre drill hole here with 2 to 5 grams of silver in it over the entire mineralised width. That's you're never going to mine that, but basically in this halo here, there's at least 1 million ounces or more of silver sitting over the top of whatever is lying at depth underneath Silica Hill. So we've got major drill holes planned to be coming into this target zone. So standing back, we can see this is the northern end of the resource. Here's the massive sulfide, and that we talked about 50,000 ounces in through there from surface. Sitting out here is our new intercept, 7 metres at about 17 grams gold equivalent. Well down there, we've completed an EM survey. Looks like this thing is getting bigger down here. I can almost guarantee you that at some point this is going to connect to Silica Hill somewhere in this system, down through here, and we're going to have mineralisation over a 300-metre vertical extent. So we're sitting in this position here. Here's hole 43, here's hole 11, and we're waiting for the assays from the bottom of hole 11. We've drilled another hole 46 to the north, and we'll be releasing the results of that sometime next week, but fairly obvious that we've continued the zone of mineralisation. And so standing back, all of that work has sort of been taking place in through here. This anomaly here is very important, this IP anomaly. We had a very significant gold, silver, arsenic, molybdenum, mercury and thallium anomaly here. And we've actually found extensive molybdenum here, which is again another important key indicator. And just going back to this figure here, that IP anomaly sits here, but in section we actually had no explanation for that geochem anomaly at all through here. A bit of sniff of gold in the structure, and so we believe that there's a very important feeder zone, potentially very high grade, sitting down here, about 250 metres below surface. That million ounces of silver that I was sort of describing as a halo sits in through here. The geochem anomaly extends for about another kilometre off to the north. And again, you just sort of get an idea of the size and scale. This is about 500 metres through here, and is certainly still open in the other direction to the east and to the north. So we're very excited about this. This continues to the north, and we're going to see a very strong news flow coming up over the next few weeks. We do have other targets nearby which we've drilled. This is the Commonwealth resource. We're getting some hints of mineralisation in this gravity target here and this gravity target here. And again, similar style of mineralisation. It looks like it's part of one big system. And standing back, looking at the big picture, everything that we've done to date has really been focused here at Commonwealth and Silica Hill. We've spoken previously about the donut, very copper-rich part of the system here, and we think that there's potential for porphyry copper. We drilled a few holes up through here. We've got sniffs of porphyry-style mineralisation, and but clearly more work to be done, but we think that this might be the feeder zone for a system that extends over at least a kilometre and a half. So for the technically minded, this is a bit of a cartoon. A previous speaker of Southern Gold sort of talked about the epithermal systems going down into porphyries underneath. Most of those are basically where the fluids vent to the surface, subaerial, and but we're in a submarine environment here. We have a classic dome. Silica Hill is a big dome, and we're sitting basically here. And so we truly believe that we're right at the top of the system, and that lying below us or along trend, we've got many hundreds of metres of mineralisation, which is going to contain very high-grade silver, gold, and base metals within it. So for those of you that haven't followed us, we're actually backed by Andrew Forrest. He's a 6% shareholder in us through his private vehicle squadron, and they put $3 million into us last year. It was a great deal for us, and we had to spend $2.5 million on Commonwealth and Broken Hill. I won't talk about Broken Hill, but it is Australia's highest grade platinum project. We had the highest drill results ever for platinum palladium in Australia last year. We have to spend $2.5 million. We've basically reached that amount, and Twiggy now has the opportunity to invest 20%, to earn 20% of both Commonwealth and Broken Hill by spending a further $1 million on each of them. And he's also got options in the company to trigger a further $2.3 million in funding. We also have $3 million in the bank, and so we're really well funded to take this discovery through to what we hope is a very significant development in the Lachlan Fold Belt. So there we are. That's the Impact story. Hopefully you've found a bit of interest in it. Come and see us at the booth. Put us on your watch list, and let's hope this is the next major discovery in the Lachlan Fold Belt. So thank you very much.